It started subtly, a gentle shudder, a flicker of lights, then silence. A silence so profound it seemed to swallow every sound, every breath. An unnatural, loaded silence that stretched over the passengers of Flight 197 like a shroud. It was as if the very air had thickened, pressing down on them. Moments before, the hum of the engines had been a lullaby, soothing them into a false sense of security. The rhythmic drone had been a constant companion, a promise of safety. Now the only sound was the frantic thumping of their own hearts, each beat a reminder of their vulnerability, their fragility. They were suspended thousands of feet above the earth, cocooned in steel and aluminum, utterly at the mercy of forces they couldn't comprehend. The vast expanse of sky outside the windows seemed both beautiful and terrifying. The silence was broken by a voice, thin and reedy, over the intercom. It crackled with static, adding to the tension. The pilot, attempting a tone of calm reassurance, spoke of minor technical difficulties. His words were measured, but the underlying strain was unmistakable. But his words did little to quell the rising tide of panic. The passengers knew. They could sense the gravity of the situation. This was no ordinary turbulence. The plane shuddered violently, as if gripped by an unseen force. This was something far worse. A nightmare unfolding at 30,000 feet. The crisis on Flight 197 wasn't a single catastrophic event. It was a series of seemingly insignificant failures, like a row of dominoes teetering toward disaster. It began with a faulty sensor, a tiny component misreading the plane's altitude. This triggered a chain reaction, a cascade of automated safety systems misinterpreting the data and compensating incorrectly. Compounding the issue was a critical communication breakdown. A junior air traffic controller, overwhelmed by a sudden influx of flights, missed a crucial warning from the plane's automated system. Precious minutes were lost, minutes that would later prove to be the difference between life and death. As the plane continued its descent, the situation spiraled from bad to worse. Panic. It started as a murmur, a ripple of unease through the cabin. Then, it crested. Whispered prayers. Frenzied texts to loved ones. Words left unsent as the plane lurched violently again. Children clung to their mothers, their small faces pressed against the windows, reflecting the terror of the unknown. But amidst the chaos, something else emerged. A quiet courage. Strangers reached across aisles, clasped hands, offering words of comfort, sharing a common humanity in the face of their shared mortality. They were no longer individuals. They were a collective, bound by the fragile hope of survival. In the cockpit, the atmosphere was thick with tension. Captain Stevens was a study in controlled chaos, his every move deliberate and precise. Years of rigorous training kicked in, guiding his actions with practiced ease. His mind was a whirlwind of calculations and emergency procedures, each one more critical than the last. He wrestled with the unresponsive controls, his hands moving swiftly yet steadily. His brow slick with sweat, he remained focused, his eyes never leaving the instruments. His voice calm but firm as he directed his co-pilot, ensuring every command was clear and precise. The air crackled with tension as the ground crew relayed instructions, their voices tense, urgent, and filled with concern. It was a race against time, a high-stakes chess match played at 30,000 feet. With each passing second, the ground grew closer, the stakes higher, and the pressure mounting. The possibility of a fiery demise loomed large, casting a shadow over every decision. But Captain Stevens never gave in to despair. His resolve was unshakable. He knew that the lives of hundreds of passengers rested on his shoulders, each one depending on his skill and courage. He could not fail them, for their safety was his ultimate mission. Flight 197 landed safely that day, a testament to human resilience and the skill of the pilots. The crew's quick thinking and calm demeanor under pressure were crucial in averting disaster. And a heavy dose of luck. The near disaster sent shockwaves through the aviation industry. The incident, a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the unpredictable nature of air travel, and the unforgiving nature of the skies, became a catalyst for change. The investigation that followed was exhaustive, meticulous. Every aspect of the incident, from the faulty sensor to the weather conditions that day to the communication breakdown, was scrutinized. New protocols were implemented, redundant safety systems, improved sensor technology, and more rigorous maintenance checks. Mandatory training for air traffic controllers, ensuring they could handle emergencies with greater efficiency and confidence. Enhanced communication protocols were also established to prevent such breakdowns in the future. The legacy of Flight 197 lived on in the countless lives saved by the lessons learned that day. It was a stark reminder that even in the face of unimaginable odds, human ingenuity and courage could prevail. The aviation industry emerged stronger, more resilient and better prepared for the challenges of the skies.